When you think of Victorian England, what comes to mind? Is it the Industrial Revolution, Charles Darwin, or Queen Victoria? For some, this era might seem like a time of great progress in science and technology. But for others, it was a period full of misery, poverty, and crime. London during the 1800s was known to be one of the most horrific places to live if you weren't rich. But what made it so dangerous? Keep watching to find out the truth behind the scariest city of all time. It is said that London was such a scary place at night that even the police were afraid to walk its streets, and there's no wonder why. Tonight, we'll tell you about the creepy nightlife of London when it was ruled by Jack the Ripper and other criminals. So let's get started. The River Thames has been an integral part of London life since ancient times. It played a crucial role in the city's development, serving as a vital trade route and a source of fresh water. However, the river had a dark side. In the 19th century, it became notorious as the dumping ground for the city's waste, including dead animals, industrial byproducts, and human bodies. This resulted in severe pollution and an unpleasant stench throughout the city. People had no choice but to use the river water for drinking and cleaning despite the health risks. The pollution also attracted disease-carrying rats, which spread cholera and the plague. Even the famous writer Charles Dickens criticized the government for neglecting the river's cleanliness in his book, describing the Thames as, quote, a most disgusting and horrible stream. It wasn't until the late 1800s that major steps were taken to clean up the river. So imagine living in a city where you're surrounded by a stinking river filled with diseases. That was London for you. No wonder they preferred staying indoors at night. Most people are aware of the fact that London was home to Jack the Ripper, but not many know that he wasn't the only serial killer operating in the city. There was another mysterious killer who was terrorizing the Whitechapel district of London, targeting and killing sex workers. He became known as the Leather Apron Killer due to the leather apron he wore while working as a surgeon's assistant. The killer's identity remains unknown, although several theories have been proposed over the years. What makes this case particularly disturbing is the brutality of the crimes. The victims were subjected to horrific mutilations, suggesting a deep psychological disturbance on the part of the perpetrator. Despite extensive investigations, the Leather Apron Killer was never caught, and the motive behind his gruesome actions remains unclear. The case continues to fascinate and terrify people over a century later, serving as a reminder of the dark underbelly of Victorian London. Have you ever stumbled upon a homeless person sleeping rough on the street? You might have thrown a few coins their way or maybe just walked past without giving it a second thought. But during the Victorian era, the sight of a homeless person was enough to send shivers down your spine. That's because many of these individuals were known as the swelled beauties, or the dustmen of London, a term used for the beggars who specialized in collecting the belongings of the recently deceased. These unsettling collectors would target the homes of the poor and vulnerable, preying on those who couldn't protect themselves. Their eerie presence added to the growing sense of unease and danger that permeated the streets of Victorian London. Another reason why Londoners preferred staying indoors after dark was the risk of being attacked by thieves. London was a hub for international commerce, attracting merchants from all over the world. This influx of wealth created a lucrative opportunity for thieves who targeted these unsuspecting visitors. They would often work in groups, using distraction techniques to separate the unsuspecting merchants from their money. Once the valuables were stolen, the targets were left to fend for themselves in a foreign country without any of their possessions. To make matters worse, the police force was still relatively underdeveloped at the time, leaving these crimes largely unchecked. So, if you were a wealthy merchant traveling to London, it was advisable to stay indoors after dark and keep your valuable items out of sight. During the Victorian era, London was plagued by a series of mysterious explosions that left people terrified and searching for answers. These incidents, known as the Metropolitan Police Court explosions, occurred throughout the city and caused widespread panic. The culprits behind these explosions were never identified, adding to the enigma surrounding them. This wave of mysterious bombings led to heightened fears and suspicions among the populace, making it a risky proposition to venture out at night. People were afraid of being caught in the crossfire of another explosion or targeted for reasons unknown. The threat of danger and uncertainty loomed large, keeping people indoors for fear of becoming the next victim. Walking down a dark, narrow street, suddenly a blood-curdling scream pierces the air. You freeze in your tracks, heart pounding as you try to identify the source of the terrifying sound. Just when you think it's safe to move, you hear footsteps running towards you. Adrenaline surges through your veins as you turn to face the approaching figure, half expecting to see a crazed murderer with a knife. Ah, it's just a cat, you think, relieved but shaken. But wait, cats don't prowl the streets at night, do they? And something about this particular feline seems off. Its eyes glow an eerie green in the darkness, and its claws are unsheathed. Oh my God, it's a cat burglar, you scream as you turn and run for your life. In reality, cats played a crucial role in helping Londoners survive the fog. Cats were more adept at navigating the labyrinthine streets of London than humans. They could easily slip through small spaces and climb over obstacles, making them ideal for delivering messages or retrieving small objects. During foggy nights, when visibility was extremely low and travel was dangerous, Londoners would utilize cats to retrieve lost items or deliver urgent messages. In addition to their navigational skills, cats' sharp claws and teeth made them effective at protecting their owners from intruders. In a time before modern security systems and personal alarms, cats provided an added layer of safety and peace of mind for Londoners. Their natural instincts and agility made them well suited for the task, providing an invaluable service to their human counterparts. But there was another animal whose presence was felt more menacingly in London's foggy streets: dogs. They were commonly kept as guard dogs, assisting their owners in fending off attackers or warding off unwanted guests. Their keen sense of hearing and smell allowed them to detect danger long before humans could, making them invaluable companions in a dangerous city. Well-trained dogs could easily overpower an attacker, giving their owners precious time to escape or seek help. Additionally, dogs could be used for tracking and pursuit, helping to catch criminals who managed to escape. Their loyalty, courage, and trainability made them essential members of London's criminal underworld. Dog fighting was a popular form of entertainment among criminals, and they would use their dogs to intimidate witnesses or carry messages to fellow gang members. Some gangs even had dogs specifically trained to attack rival gang members or law enforcement officials. Dogs were also used for burglary, as they could be trained to sneak into homes undetected and alert their owners to the presence of valuables. This allowed criminals to scope out potential targets and plan their heists accordingly. During the Victorian era, London was infamous for its deadly fog. The combination of coal smoke, fog, and gas emissions created a thick, toxic cloud that blanketed the city, reducing visibility and causing respiratory problems. These dense fogs were not just a nuisance, but a genuine threat to public safety. When fog rolled in, people were advised to stay indoors to avoid the smoke-filled streets. The fog could last for days, trapping people inside their homes without access to fresh air. This not only made it difficult to breathe, but also disrupted daily activities and transportation. The lack of visibility also led to accidents and injuries as pedestrians and vehicles struggled to navigate the smoky haze. These deadly fogs were a constant reminder of the dangers of industrialization and the importance of finding ways to mitigate their impact on public health and safety. London Bridge is one of the oldest and most iconic bridges in London, spanning the River Thames and connecting the city with Southwark. But did you know that it was also haunted by the restless spirits of its former victims? Yep, that's right. If you dared to cross the bridge at night, you might have been accompanied by the ghosts of those who perished during its construction. According to legend, over 600 people lost their lives during the 1820s and 30s when the bridge was rebuilt. These souls are said to wander the bridge even today, seeking peace after their untimely demise. Many have reported seeing shadowy figures walking along the parapet of the bridge, while others have heard the sound of hammers and the cries of workers long gone. The most adventurous ghost hunters have even claimed to see the ghost of a man hanging from the bridge, a grim reminder of the high cost of progress. This brings us to our final point. During the Victorian era, London was plagued by a range of infectious diseases, from cholera to tuberculosis, which could be spread through contaminated water and poor sanitation. People were constantly at risk of contracting a deadly illness, making it imperative to stay indoors to avoid exposure. Fear of contagion was so widespread that people took extreme measures to protect themselves, such as wearing masks and avoiding contact with others. The threat of disease loomed large, turning the streets into a dangerous and unpredictable environment. So can you imagine how scary it must have been to live in London during the Victorian era? Between the terrible living conditions, rampant crime, and deadly diseases, it was a nightmare come true. But hey, at least you didn't have to worry about being attacked by an axe murderer or a rabid dog. Well, maybe both. We hope you enjoyed learning about the creepy nightlife of London. If you did, please like the video and subscribe for more content. We've got plenty more videos about history's creepiest cities and other scary topics that will leave you up all night.